Catherine O'Hara is gone, and for millions of fans, it doesn't quite feel real. For decades, she was the face of comedy that didn't shout for attention, but somehow stole every scene anyway. From frantic movie moms to eccentric socialites with impossible accents, Catherine O'Hara didn't just play characters, she became them. And now, at 71, one of comedy's most distinctive voices has fallen silent. But the story of how she got there and why her impact runs deeper than most people realize is far more surprising than it looks at first glance. And it all started in a place no one would expect. Catherine O'Hara was born in Toronto in 1954, the second youngest in a family of 7 children. Her household wasn't filled with Hollywood connections or industry privilege. Her father worked for the Canadian Pacific Railway. Her mother was a real estate agent. Acting wasn't the obvious path. It wasn't even the plan. Her first performance wasn't glamorous. She once played the Virgin Mary in a school nativity play. Sweet, simple, and completely unremarkable at the time. No one watching would have guessed that decades later, this same girl would redefine comedic acting on television and film. After high school, O'Hara didn't land an agent or book auditions. She became a waitress at Second City Theater. That detail matters because Second City wasn't just a workplace, it was a pressure cooker of raw talent. Every night, she watched legends form in real time. Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner, Joe Flaherty, people who weren't just funny but fearless, and she studied them quietly from the sidelines. When she finally auditioned to join Second City herself, the feedback wasn't exactly encouraging. One of the senior members told her to keep up the good work, then clarified he meant waitressing. Most people would have taken that as a sign. Catherine O'Hara didn't. She auditioned again, and this time she got in. That decision changed everything. In 1974, Catherine O'Hara officially joined Second City's comedy troupe. At first, being on stage terrified her. She wasn't loud, she wasn't flashy, she didn't dominate the room. But she discovered a secret weapon: improvisation. When she didn't know what to do next, she leaned into chaos. Later, she described her rule as simple: when in doubt, play insane. That freedom allowed her to say anything, be anything, and never apologize for it. That instinct made her unforgettable. By 1976, Second City launched a television spin-off, Second City Television, better known as SCTV. The show didn't just parody pop culture, it dismantled it. And Catherine O'Hara quickly became one of its most reliable scene stealers. She did razor-sharp impressions of celebrities like Meryl Streep and Brooke Shields, but more importantly, she created original characters that felt oddly real, even when they were absurd. Behind the scenes, the show wasn't stable. Network deals came and went, paychecks were inconsistent, careers felt uncertain. But creatively, SCTV was gold. O'Hara earned 5 Emmy nominations as part of the writing staff and won once. Still, even with critical success, she felt restless. And then something unexpected happened. In 1981, during a break from SCTV, Catherine O'Hara got a call that most comedians only dream about. Saturday Night Live wanted her. She said yes immediately. Of course she did. Who wouldn't? But before she could appear in a single episode, SCTV was picked up again. Faced with a choice, she returned to the show that felt like home. Her SNL slot went to her best friend from high school. At the time, some people quietly labeled her difficult. Others assumed she didn't want to work. Rumors swirled that she was turning down opportunities out of fear or ego. Years later, she shut that down. She didn't avoid work, she avoided bad work. She trusted her gut. If a project didn't feel right, if she wouldn't want her parents to see it, she walked away. And she was fine staying home rather than defending something she didn't believe in. That mindset shaped her entire career, and it led her straight to Hollywood. In 2015, Catherine O'Hara reunited with longtime collaborator Eugene Levy for a small Canadian television series created by his son, Dan Levy. It was called Schitt's Creek. At first, almost no one noticed. The show aired on CBC in Canada and the Pop Network in the US. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't hyped, but something about it felt different. And at the center of it was Moira Rose. Moira wasn't just a character, she was a spectacle. Her accent defied logic, her outfits ignored reality, her wigs, dozens of them, became legendary. What most viewers didn't know was that the wigs were O'Hara's idea. She wanted Moira's appearance to change with her mood, not continuity rules. At first, it scared the production team, then it became part of television history. As the show hit Netflix, everything exploded. Suddenly, Catherine O'Hara wasn't just beloved, she was viral. New audiences discovered her genius decades into her career, and for the first time, she received the kind of attention that had long eluded her. In 2020, she won the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. She also won a Golden Globe and a SAG Award. On stage, she thanked Eugene and Dan Levy for giving her the chance to play a woman of a certain age, her age, who was allowed to fully be herself. That moment meant more than any trophy. Even after Schitt's Creek, O'Hara didn't slow down. She appeared in Curb Your Enthusiasm, 30 Rock, and 6 Feet Under. She earned an Emmy nomination for the TV film Temple Grandin. She voiced characters in Frankenweenie, The Addams Family, and Elemental. In 2024, she returned as Delia Dietz in Beetlejuice. She appeared in the action film Argylle, and she showed up in Season 2 of The Last of Us. She never chased relevance. Relevance chased her. Off-screen, Catherine O'Hara's life was quieter, but no less meaningful. In 1992, she married production designer Bo Welch, whom she met while working on Beetlejuice. They had 2 sons. Their marriage wasn't defined by dramatic headlines or Hollywood chaos. When asked about their secret, she said they communicated through humor. They joked instead of yelling, sarcasm instead of shouting. That philosophy mirrored her work. Honest, funny, human. Catherine O'Hara is survived by her husband and children, but her legacy stretches far beyond that. She changed how comedy looked, how aging women were written, how quiet performances could outshine loud ones. She proved that you don't need to dominate the spotlight to own it. And even now, long after the laughter fades, her characters are still here, waiting for us to press play again. Because legends don't disappear. They echo. If you grew up laughing because of Catherine O'Hara, this one hits different. Her characters weren't just funny, they stayed with you. If you want more real Hollywood stories, untold moments, and the kind of news that doesn't feel recycled, you're in the right place. Hit like if her work meant something to you. Subscribe to Hollywood Wire for stories Hollywood won't slow down for. And tell us in the comments, which Catherine O'Hara role will you never forget?